Hello YouTube vintage stereo restorers and collectors. Here's a little something I thought would be interesting. So I have a dual 1210 turntable that I picked up a little while ago. And I actually got it, it was a thrift store find. Because I like going to the thrift stores. Reasonably priced. Everything was there. The head shell, now this isn't the one. This is actually for an older style. Too bad it wasn't this one because this one's in good shape. The head shell, as anybody that's experienced them, the wires are very brittle. The little pins that contact under the head shell are a problem. It was so rough. I did a little bit of nasty soldering on it to get it playing. Wasn't too happy with the way it looks underneath. And I was using the original Shure cartridge, which is like from this same era. So here's what I did, something I'm trying out. They're available on eBay and on Amazon, $14.99 US. It's a dual head shell, and you can get them for the TK, I forget, one's the TK14, one's the TK20. I look at it this way, the old one, but not the really old one. So the one with the contacts on the top, it's a little heavier and chunkier. Then the one with the pins on the back, that's a little more slender, more like that. This was the later one. And so it should be pretty easy to install. And I'm putting on a new Audio-Technica VM95C cartridge. So it's like their entry-level conical half-inch mount cartridge. And they actually sound really good. And I noticed they're being used in a lot of places. Like the library in my town has one branch that has records. Vinyl records. New vinyl records. And which is really cool. A lot of libraries have vinyl records, and most of them, they are bought from Amazon, from what I can tell. Oh, this is going to be a little tricky. Anyway, let's try this again. Screw those to the top. Then into the hole, and this is what I like about these cartridges. They actually have the threaded, you don't need to try to fit a nut underneath. The thread portion is molded into the head shell. Genius. You get one screw and you're laughing. I usually put the little nylon wash underneath that comes with the hardware. Yeah, and what's interesting about the branch in Waterloo, Ontario, is the AV guy that selects the records was a member of Blue Rodeo, the Canadian band. I just can't think of his name right now. One of the guys from Blue Rodeo, which is kind of cool. He had a guitar store for a while in Kitchener. I'm not into guitars like I used to be. It's a tough business to sell guitars. So anyway, that's on there. Just basically, it lines up really good. I find, in general, since I don't have the original alignment tool, the stylus, see there's like a line right there, maybe very hard to see. That's where the, basically, when you slide on the head shell, there's an indent, and then a tab, and then you move the lever over and it locks it down. It should be roughly in line with that. It could go forward a little bit. Not going to worry about that quite yet. Oh, sure, why not? Down a bit. The fact that these have the nuts built into the head shell like that, oh, it's just... These are like made for vintage turntables. Alright, so I just take that. That's what we want. The stylus is lined up with that line. The original, it came with a thing that slipped over that grabbed that tab and had a piece, sort of like a piece of plastic that went over, and you eyed it up. And having owned one for a while, yeah, it's right on. It's where it should be. Then you have to make sure it's straight in the head shell. But I do that last. Now we worry about getting the wires on. It's like, oh, on the back of the Audio Technica cartridge, they don't have the colors like they used to. But it's in the instructions right here. That's the back. I just saw it a minute ago. Yeah, right there. So, I always mix this up. Blue is left channel minus. Okay. That's really tiny. I have to get some glasses on here that I can see what. I'm an old guy. I need reading glasses. Blue's left minus, so which is left plus? The white, right? Okay, so the red, let's see where it burned myself. This business. So I'm just going to kind of twirl it around. The white goes on the plus. Get some needle nose. We're approaching brain surgery on a beaver. Oh, those are real. That's really a tight fit. Gonna have to be careful on these. Yeah, really a tight fit. Let's make sure we got a good grip on it here. Oh boy. So in that library branch, they had, when they first got the records a couple of years ago, kind of when things were reopening from the pandemic, they bought one of those Audio Technica that looks like an SL1200. You know, direct drive, fully manual. And somebody kept taking the cartridge from it. And then finally somebody just took the turntable. And think about this. A 20-pound turntable, he walked out with it. Unbelievable. So right channel plus is red, right channel minus is green. See, all you see, and it's really tiny on the back of the cartridge. You got just an R on one side, plus minus, and an L plus minus. But I think I can handle this. Just be careful not to torque the wires too much. I get them kind of all bending the same way, so it looks nice. Because if it looks nice, it should sound nice, right? Wow, those are really going to be tight to get those on. I can just feel it. It's nice that there's new hardware available for a lot of duals. There's actually a company in somewhere around Toronto that's building idler wheels for them. And it's like on a machine body. It's quite a piece of equipment. I'm going to have to walk those down. But see how I have them kind of just turning like that? Yeah. So let's try to get these down on a little further. That? Yeah, these are still, that's good. That means you're going to have good contact. Give it a tiny bit of wiggle. That one going on. Now the white one. In there. A tiny bit of wiggle. Don't want to break anything. I've actually had on one of these, I moved it from one turntable to another, and when I pulled the lead off it, the lead came right out of the cartridge. Yeah. Unfortunately, you have little things like that happen. Yeah, that one snapped right on. So they're on very firmly now. Yeah, so nice little bit of twist. One thing I noticed with these is they need to be just a bit flexible because they will be bumping up when you go under the tone arm and lock this thing down. These wires may bump into some of the other hardware. So it might take a little adjusting. Let's get this on nice and straight now. As you can see, it's not very straight. Take the guard off. Get it to line up straight with the body. Yeah. That's lined up. Give it a little tightening. Screws go in from the top on these duals. That looks very straight. It should line up straight. Should be like equally. So there's the center point. Yeah, lines up there. There's the offset, lines up there. Yeah, that's on just fine now. Get a little more tightening. So I'm going to go and take this downstairs. I want to do it here because I have better light here. Yeah, so there we go. There's the Audio-Technica on the right, the M95C, and the old Shure on the left playing some Boston. And it's actually an M91ED. I thought it was an M44 for some reason, but I got so much of this stuff kicking around, it's not funny. Anyway, I gotta tell you one thing. As much as I like Shure, this entry-level Audio-Technica has just a little more sparkle. It's a really nice sounding cartridge.